To be a bookkeeper?
No. To be a truck driver / bookkeeper.
Absolutely not, nor would it be under the pay card system. The truck driver can be responsible for driving the trucks. But they don't need to do any accounting.
But those are the numbers we discussed this later on in 18.
We'll get into a full discussion if you want to stick around for it.
Thank you so much.
I hope I brought up some good points. Yeah, I still have a whole list of landlord issues too, but that's
Without objection, we'll have this.
it's on my computer.
Yeah, those things will come. Come up. So identify yourself. And you know, we're trying to hold it to 5. We haven't done it yet here.
Sorry, that was
Don't start with me.
I apologize, Mr. Mayor, but I think we had some good dialogue there.
My name's Skip Hayes. I kind of broke my situation down into some topics here that I've given you. Most of the topics have already been spoken of, but since this is a citizen comment area, I'll comment on them again. First thing I want to talk about is the size of containers that were sent to us on that survey. It's not an order form, it's a survey. And so I went out to Lowe's to see if I could find these things, to see if I could grab one, and I found the smallest they had was a 45-gallon. And so I lifted that, and the thing already feels like it's got 2 bags of garbage in it before you ever lift it. And the reason I'm having to lift it is because I have to carry it to the street. I can't roll it to the street. Someone said something about rolling it on the steps or something. That's a ridiculous idea. You have concrete steps. You're going to ruin your steps, and now you've got to pay somebody to repair that. I've already paid a lot of money to do that. And so they do have to be carried. Well, I found this one down the street here today as I was walking. I lifted it up, and it feels like it's got a bag of garbage in it. The smallest one, so it's heavy, and I have to carry the things down. In the present system, we're told that we couldn't have a container over 32 gallons. If you put one in larger, they wouldn't pick it up. That's the way it is. So now we're being told that we have to have your 35 or 65 or 95 gallon containers. It's okay for the people that have to put the trash in the truck to have a little tiny thing, but not us as homeowners. We have to deal with these larger containers. Again, the people I qualified each of these. If you'll notice that I live downtown, I'm not trying to speak for the people who live out where they can roll it right out of their garage or keep it on the side of their house. I'm not going to try to go there because I think maybe it's a good thing for those neighborhoods. A few of the items related to this is I know a few people, or I've talked to some people out in the country that have the larger containers. I don't know what size they are, but I know somebody got one. They were used to carrying their trash can down to the end of their long gravel drive in their van, and suddenly they were delivered one of these things, and it no longer fits in the van. They've got a gravel driveway. Now they can't get it down the driveway because it doesn't roll very good on the gravel. So they've got an issue of how to get their can down. I talked to someone else that has a sloping driveway. They put the trash in their thing the first time they got it down to the bottom of the drive. Then they couldn't get it back up. So what do? They leave it on the county road out there. And if you'll drive around on a Sunday, you'll see tons of these things all sitting out on the front, where now everybody leaves their trash at the end of their drive. Well, that's what's going to happen downtown. If you deliver, somebody didn't sign up for this on the survey, I'll call it, then they're going to get the 65-gallon can. It's going to end up sitting in front of their house, down on the street, and that's going to be a shame. Again, I'm talking about downtown. I live downtown. You know, a kind of a funny article was written in the paper a couple of weeks ago. Kay writes that she filled her cart up and was trying to get it down to the street and fell in it. You know, that's a thought. What's the city thought about moving these heavy containers around, elderly people, whatever, anything fall on us? Maybe they get hurt trying to carry it somewhere, you know, or get it down, roll it down the steps like somebody said, and it falls over and they all fall down the steps. You know, they don't own the car. I mean, have they got some recourse here against the city? I don't know. I'm sure there's an attorney sitting here. The second issue, I'm going to relate to the cost of the thing again, and I don't know what they cost. What?
I'm just saying, I'm trying to get you to speed up to 5 minutes to get it closer.
Yeah.
Just try to wrap it up.
Okay.
As you can.
I sure will.
Okay, I'm for you.
But I don't know what the carts cost, but I figure they cost about $40 a piece or something. Probably the free ones that you're going to give away, and who knows how much the largest ones. So you give away. I heard some facts down here one night that was brought up about 10,500 homes in the city. So you give away these carts, 2 apiece, and it's up near around $840,000. Maybe the trucks are equipped, but I figured that device was about $7,000. But Mr. Wilder says they're already equipped, so maybe there's $119,000 that we don't need to spend equipping the trucks. We are going to have to buy some trucks to pick up the recycling with the grabber arm and the whole bit. And I looked up trucks, and they're anywhere from $170,000. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt at $100,000, and now we're up to $959,000 to start up this thing. Then we've lost our $60 thing after this starts up, and that's another $630,000. And so now we're up to with some other figures added in the loss. Maybe they didn't pay that much. So I figured in $478,000. We're up to $1.5 million to implement this. So we need to know where the money's coming from. And I know our mayor talked about that the last meeting. And then finally, the recycling issue, I'm going to talk briefly on that. Charlotte's talked well on that. This is the best part of the program. And I agree with her. Why not start with this portion of it? Give everybody a can and let's see if we can't reduce it for a while using the recycling. I know this system started up around 1991 here, and it has been so confusing to use. Everything had to be separated. You couldn't even have green glass with clear glass in the beginning. You put cans in, and if you didn't get it out of the little plastic bag you were collecting it in, put it in your container, then the trash people would throw it on the street. And now you had to pick that up. They didn't bother dumping it out. We had various kinds of plastic you couldn't recycle, and you could do one kind of plastic but not another, and it had some sort of thing. You couldn't do jars with lids. Then eventually the glass, they quit taking the glass, period, and then everything could be mixed, and then finally in May of this year you could start taking the glass again. And I think that what this whole system is a backdoor method to get people to do more recycling. Well, why don't you use the front door, and the real positive method here, and see if everybody will do recycling. here. That, you know, the idea here is that if you, this pay-as-you-throw thing is just a backdoor method to cause you to have to recycle more. Well, that's fine. Just get people to recycle more instead of charging them more. And all these little fines and $20 to upside, that's arbitrary. That's just a punishment because now you've got too small of a cart and you have to go up in size, and that's just, all that is a little punishment that you're going to charge people. It has nothing to do with anything, and so forth, because you're not going to charge to go down. So, you know, so I'm for her suggestion about the doing the idea of educating people on how to recycle.
Well, we thank you for coming and making a presentation, and we'll be having some more discussion here. The evening goes on, I'm sure.
Now, one thing I want to say this before I leave. I read this very neat thing, and I really appreciate it. Commissioner Hedden put in her little bio thing, and I truly believe she believes this. She believes in proper planning before implementing ideas and ensuring the citizens have say in what happens in their town. I believe she says that. I believe she's for this. And the only person I ever hear answer questions about this, I don't know if nobody else knows anything about it or not, but it's always Commissioner Wilder. So I don't know if the rest of the commission doesn't know the answers, or, you know, I'm sure he's the architect of the plan here, but and knows the most about it. But you know, I mean, other people don't speak about it. So,
Thank you. Okay, any other citizen comments?
Sir, I've just got a couple of comments.
Okay, just post your name, please.
Denny Murphy.
Okay.
I'm around here, and he's talking about everything, you know, raising the rent. My mother lives on a little less than $750 income a month. Well, I live with my mother, and it's awful hard, even with me working, for us to make ends meet. Our landlord have to raise the rent again. I mean, it don't make sense on the poor people. I mean, y'all hurt the poor people. You're not hurting the landowners. You're hurting the people that pays the rent.
So did you order the large cart?
I have not ordered nothing.
If that's the case, then the default is for the city to lower your monthly bill under pay pro. We don't do anything that stays at $5 a month.
I mean, it's still, picking up trash. I've lived in Frankfort for 40 years, or around Frankfort for 40 years. You started charging us to pick up trash like Lawrenceburg about 10 years ago. That's when Lawrenceburg started theirs. I mean, I don't understand it. Frankfort at one time had its own dump. Okay, I remember it when I was a little bitty boy. Now we take our, Dalton? Shelby County or Anderson County to dump our trash now? We dump our trash in Anderson or Shelby County? Is that where the dump is now?
Oh, it's in Franklin County.
Yeah, 151.
It's in the county.
It's in our county. Okay, I didn't know that.
It's
But, I mean, you know, we keep raising, and you got people out here hurting now.
Right.
There's no jobs.
I agree. That's why I really think we should lower the fee, and that's why I'm hoping we get off the pay for it.
I mean, y'all keep raising, you know, poor people want to move out of Frankfort.
I'm sorry, sir. I really don't understand. Exactly what fee do you think we're going to raise?
Well, first off, started charging for trash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that we understood. My mother is very old, and I'm getting that way too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't understand if y'all going to have to bring all this up. I know the fees is going to have to be raised. I'm not a well college educated man, but I know dollars and cents, and I am a trucker.
But you do understand that the paper system would lower the fee from $60.
We try.
So that's just math. So I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Another citizen.
What do you got?
Yeah, Glenn Matthews. Some years ago, city employees sold 10 dilapidated items for either $1 each or the whole lot for $1. When the commission at that time heard about it, they called him on the carpet saying that he was not able to do that because he didn't get prior permission. So I'm coming in front of you all to get permission to e-scrap these things. Finance has about 6 of these monitors sitting around. I checked with IT. They can't use them, don't want them. So I'm here to ask if we can e-scrap them.
Yeah, making any museums might be
Yeah. So,
What year is it?
I have no idea.
Well, are you coming to ask us if the city can do that?
Yes.
Have you gone
Just
to?
for our approval.
Oh. Have you talked to you about that?
No.
I'm just thinking that people come to commission that, but there is a city thing that you want to do food, and then maybe have the city manager make that presentation. That's the way I would interpret that. Rather than,
I'd be glad to consider it and talk with you, and we've got a procedure for declaring things surplus.
okay, thank you. Okay, any other comments?
If I could, Mayor, I think I could address some of Skip's concerns real quick. Can I take the opportunity to answer a couple of Skip's questions?
Okay, if you feel it's necessary.
I mean, we're gonna get to some of the stuff later in the meeting, but we've seen a number of times folks give citizen comments and then not necessarily stick around for the full discussion. So I'd like to address a couple of things real quick in case you don't sit through the next couple hours until we get to the trash fee. It is in the draft ordinance that folks who can't handle the carts for physical or environmental reasons could use bags instead of carts. So my sense is that would address your and a number of other people's concerns about moving the carts around, about not being able to move the carts around. And then folks, if folks can't move the carts, we don't necessarily need to move the carts. So my sense is that's a lot. In terms of long gravel driveways in the city, I've done an informal survey of the city myself to the extent that I've campaigned it twice and tried to knock on every door in town. And I can count the numbers of long gravel driveways in the city on one hand. I don't think that's necessarily.
That wasn't my point. You missed the point.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The point was that you can't get the thing back to your storage place, so it's going to be set on the street. That's the point.
Oh, okay. I've known people that fall in normal trash cans too. All respect them as there, and that was an entertaining story, but I don't think that's necessarily specific to these particular carts. I did ask the county, and they reported that the number of injuries and fatalities they've seen as a result of these carts are exactly 0 and 0 thus far. Of course, we also did a pilot project in the Crestwood neighborhood as well. I didn't see any injuries or fatalities in that neighborhood either. So far, we're these cans are batting 1,000 in terms of safety in Franklin County.
And received high approval. Received very high approval ratings from the Crestwood neighborhood on the use of those cans as well. The citizens really enjoyed that program and that pilot program.
That's true. The feedback we got on it was very, very positive, and that was with the 2 larger cans only. That wasn't even including the easier to use smaller cans. In terms of how we pay for them, we can just we have enough cash on hand for much higher than anticipated recurring revenues right now. Our financial statements are looking really nice. We've been racking up surpluses of about $1 million a year for the past couple of years, and we're on track to do it again.
What expense? May I ask you, what expense? What capital expenditures have you not?
Sorry. But you just asked where the money would come from. Sure. I'm saying we have cash on hand. We've been pulling in surpluses for the last couple of years, and are pulling in one this year as well, according to our current financial statement. And again, just in terms of in terms of public input and proper planning. I mean, we've been working on this almost 3 times as long as the previous garbage fee was discussed. I mean, we've been working on this for almost. If this does get implemented next year, it'll be after a full year of research and public discussion. We also held a series of public forums back in April where we asked folks to come in, and we got pretty good participation in those forums.
I didn't know.
I understand being in the county, you probably weren't notified about it, but the point is we have sought public input, and we've been discussing this in meetings and on television and in the newspaper and on the internet as broadly as we can.
I didn't get to speak about that particular issue because I was cut off, but I think it was the city's belief that these forums were to discuss the 60-hour issue because people didn't like it. I don't think anybody knew that it was to discuss a new system. And I didn't. And so, and then to speak about the internet and all that, nobody sits around and watches commission meetings on the internet, and that sort of thing. So,
some people do. I mean, my point is that we've done everything we can to talk to Logan about this, short of personally going to everybody's door.
We didn't do a survey.
But
that's what we didn't do. We didn't actually send a survey to see what people have.
There's a little more discussion this afternoon or this evening, and there some of the comments that Commissioner Wilder has made and the statements he made. The number we'll try to get more clarification because in my own mind I don't concur with all the statements that have been made by Commissioner Wilder just yet. Mayor, I know he has his number, but there's other numbers.
Can I be recognized for a point of personal privilege, which is done?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to address some issues now that, since people have had the chance for citizen comments, I think, so they want to hear that. But I just want to respond to some comments that were made previously at the last meeting and some things on. I just want to respond to some things that were made at previous meetings, just to correct. I went back because I wanted to get research and make sure I had my facts correct and sort of fact check some of the things that were said previously. And so I'm speaking on behalf of myself as well as former members of the commission that were here when we had some of the things that were discussed. And I want to address some things that just are not accurate. And one of the things was, it was said that we're having to do some of these things because previous commissions didn't address certain issues for that. One, that the parking lot for the public safety building costs $1 million, which is not true. And we can ask, I don't know if the police is here. I would guess we can ask that, but it didn't cost $1 million for that parking lot. It was also said that I campaigned against the garbage fee because I didn't vote for it, and then immediately after election voted for the fee, which is not true because we not had another vote.
That's on the record, Commissioner.
I'm making a point. You know what? Mayor, just thank you. When I'm making a point of personal privilege, that's not available. It is. We voted in 2009. I voted no on the fee at the time because I just philosophically didn't agree with it. There's not been another vote on the garbage fee since then. And I voted no on that. That is a fact, and it is in the minutes, and I would say right there for people to see. It's in black and white, and that speaks on itself. I was also said that previous commissions had not addressed sewer fees, which is, again, not the case because beginning in 1992, the city has addressed sewer rate increases in projects going back to 1992, and the city sewer department the city only took over operation of the sewer plant. It was either 1989, somewhere between 1989 and 1991. So in 1992, the commission immediately began to address deficiencies in the system, and also to do that to accomplish rates. It was looked at. We've had consultants look at it. Wastewater treatment sewer department directors have looked at that. Every sewer director that I know that has come into that position since then has immediately addressed deficiencies in the program. And some of that has had to be through rates. Again, those are all things that we can go back if need be. I didn't bring copies of all that, but I can tell you that you'll find it. And in 1999, the City Commission voted to expand the sewer plant capacity from 6.6 million gallons to 9.9 million gallons in normal capacity, of course, when it rains and stuff. But that's dry weather, I guess. And then at the last meeting, the Public Works Director was quoted as saying, and Jeff, I'm not saying this, that the recycling rate was close to 30% of households, and that which that accounts for about 6% of waste produced. Again, not my words; those are words from our department director, based on his own department saying that. And the health insurance issues were addressed previously, but commission members at the time chose to be on the side of our employees because at the time we had plenty of cash on hand and we did not want to put a further burden on employees. That was something that was important to employees, that we did outreach, we listened to our employees who make the organization what it is. And that at the time, we weren't ignoring the issue. We looked at it, and it must be remembered that no one anticipated that we'd be faced with this crushing economic downfall that we've been under the last couple of years. And we still had to we still been able to maintain essential services without layoffs and salary cuts, as some other local governments have had to do. And I'm not here to debate it. I just want those are facts, and people can fact check it. And Mayor, I just wanted to get that on the record.
Finish.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege.
Okay, all right. First, Commissioner Water.
The fact of the matter is, and when we can go back and forth on this, there's ample public record to support this, is last December, the last act of the previous commission was to send down the next installment of the garbage bill. It was slated to be, they scheduled, the previous commission that established the previous garbage fee, scheduled the last bill that was actually sent out, they scheduled it to be sent out in early January. And after the previous election, I pointed out to the previous commission, this is in a public meeting, this is on the record, I pointed out to the previous commission that all 4 commission candidates that won election campaigned against the $60 fee, and pointed out that the current commission should not expect the next commission to honor their commitment to send out that bill come January. And so, in order to keep this current commission from stopping that bill from being sent out, they moved the date back and voted to send it out at the very end of December. So, it was the final act of the previous commission instead of the first act of this commission. And contrary to Commissioner May's claims, he did join the rest of the commission in voting to ensure that that bill did indeed get sent out in December, rather than getting challenged by this commission come January. That vote is on the record. It's in our minutes. Recordings of those discussions are available by request from the city clerk. So those discussions all took place in December of last year, despite Commissioner May's claims. And I guess I would like to hear from, I'll come back and dispute the cost of the parking lot for the public safety building at another time. But I'm trying to scan through a State Journal article from back then, but I don't. But even just the purchase of the existing tax tank structures that were used to tear down, that we purchased and tore down to build a public safety building. I mean, that was a considerable expense, but that's all. We don't have to
We'll move on here now. Hopefully no one else has personal privilege. We'll move on. All right, is there any other citizen comments? Okay, it's been a very entertaining. Let's move on into the discussion of the tentative agenda.
Anyone have any additions or comments of the proposed agenda?
I do. City staff can go first. Can I finish?
Please.
I just had a couple of requests. First of all, on item number 7.3, the Brownfield grant,
That application is due to be postmarked the 28th of November, which is actually the voting meeting of this board. So I would like to see if I could go ahead and send that in on the 28th. There's no resolution required. There's no match required. And if for some reason you all decide not to vote on it that night, I can pull it. But I just need to get it in the mail prior to 5 o'clock. So with that, if that's right. I'd also like to add an item, the EPA Building Block for Sustainable Communities. That is a technical assistance grant. There's no money involved in that. It's just to have technical assistance come and help us on a project. And again, that's due the 22nd, so I would need to send it in before your voting meeting. If that's okay with that. And again, there's no matching involved, no resolution required.
I need to get that information to Fred and Ramona to get it emailed to us.
Yes.
And that would need to be ratified at the 28th meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
If I may,